Slimehouse TV, myself, Theo Kane. It's Toy Talk Tuesday. You know that we always talk toys here on Slimehouse on a Tuesday. And in today's episode, I'm going to be showcasing one toy in particular, something that I picked up recently. And it's also a toy that if you've been watching this show recently, you'll know that I had on its way because I saw it at ToyCon on the stall of Unbox Industries and kind of kicked myself at the time for not bringing it home. So a week or so later, I got in touch with Unbox Industries and I got them to send me one. So today I'm going to be talking about this figure. The Tetsuo Iron Man Sofubi toy from Unbox Industries. But before I open it up, because I'm going to open it up on camera, I want to talk a little bit about why this toy is special to me and why it's something that after getting home I realised like, yo, I really need this in my collection. So if you've followed Slimehouse for any number of years, you'll know how much I love Japanese culture. I've been to Tokyo many times and hunted down all the cool toys there and things like that. But one of my initial introductions to Japan was through film. And I grew up a fan of like Kamen Rider and Godzilla and all that kind of stuff. Rider. Sometimes people correct me on how to say it, but that was all stuff that I loved as a kid. And then when I got a bit older, like through the mid-2000s, I got really into the obscure, more adult, violent movies that came out of Japan. So when I was about 17, 18, 19, I started to get into the more like adult, more obscure, violent Japanese movies. And I got into directors like Takeshi Miike and enjoyed watching films like Dead or Alive and Ichi the Killer. I got really into Battle Royale, and I also liked the movies of a director called Shinya Tsukamoto. And his most famous movie of all time is a film called Tetsuo. So Tetsuo came out in 1989 and it's very much an art movie. Trying to explain Tetsuo is like trying to explain a David Lynch movie like Eraserhead to someone. This is a film that's very black and white, it's got lots of stop motion in it, lots of weird crazy effects, and the story that's very convoluted. It's a very arty movie. Trying to watch it and understand the story is not the way to watch Tetsuo. But it's basically a film that's very industrial. It takes place in a world where people can get infected with like a weird mechanical machine virus. There's lots of weird machine fetishism shit going on and stuff like that. But it's a movie that when I first saw it, although it wasn't like my favourite Japanese movie, it's one that I really appreciated, and it was a side of Japan that I'd really not seen before. There's 3 of these films, but the first one is definitely the one that people really think about when they think about Shinya Tsukamoto and the Tetsuo movies. And it's the kind of film that's so obscure and so weird and such a cult movie that you never see merchandise of it, let alone an action figure. So when I saw this action figure, this is why I kicked myself that I didn't get one, because I kind of thought that like if I don't buy that, then who is this toy even made for? So I'm really happy now to actually have one, and I'm looking forward to opening it up on camera and having a look what's inside and putting it together and having my own version that I can display on a shelf. I've also never really unboxed Sofubi on this channel. We do a lot of vintage stuff on this channel, but I like to cover a bit of Sofubi and art toys and things like that. So if you're not too familiar with what Sofubi is, it'll be cool for you to see like your first introduction to how it comes, how they package it, and how you put it together. So a really cool thing about this toy as well, and we talked about it when I interviewed Dan at Unbox Industries at ToyCon UK, is that this was actually sculpted by a dude called Takeshi Oda. And Takeshi Oda was a special effects artist that, well, he wasn't, he is still alive, Takeshi Oda, but he worked on the second Tetsuo movie, because like I said, there's 3 of them. So bringing that guy in to actually sculpt this Sofubi action figure is like such a fucking awesome little extra added thing to it. Like this could have been sculpted by anybody and I would have still wanted it. But the fact that it was created by Takeshi Oda makes it all the more authentic. And Sofubi is often bagged in these kind of baggies like this with a header card and this like silicone thick plastic bag. And some people don't like opening toys, and I'm one of those people. We did a whole episode recently about how I feel it's important to preserve toys when they're in packaging and they're a rare piece and stuff like that. But when it comes to Sofubi or toys that come in header cards, I really do think it's fair game, because all you've got to do is unpop these little staples here. It's usually just put together with a couple of staples. You can just pop them off with a knife and then you can display the header card next to it if you want. But it's always nice to get a toy that's collector friendly like this, because if I ever wanted to put it back in the bag, then I could do that. These figures are also like super limited run. I'm not sure how many they've actually made of this thing, but I can guarantee it's not like in the thousands. So it's really cool to have something that's an exclusive piece like that. So let's open it up. Let's undo these little safety pins. There's also some assembly involved. As you can see, his arms are not attached. His other appendage is not attached, which I'll talk about. He's not attached, which I'll talk about in a second. And just like that, you can open it up. Gotta smell that new toy, gotta smell that fresh vinyl, that fresh plastic and that fresh paint. You gotta smell it. It's like the one thing that's nostalgic to me with toys, because I always talk about like toys not being that nostalgic to me because I've always collected them in some form, and I was raised by a toy dealer, so we always had toys in the house. But that smell of like opening a new toy, it never gets old. It's a smell that never gets boring to me. So something I also mentioned to Dan at Unbox Industries when we were looking at this in that ToyCon video is that you can tell it's been hand sculpted. Nowadays, so many toys are 3D sculpted, and I'm a culprit of that. I love sculpting toys 3D. I really do enjoy the free and easy, user-friendly ability of sculpting something 3D on a computer or an iPad and being able to mess with it and not have to work with actual clay. But there's something to be said for a toy that's made completely out of actual sculpting. You can just tell when it's been created there in hand differently to when it's been created in 3D. You can see all the little marks and imperfections where someone's dug into it with a sculpting tool. Sometimes you can even see the thumbprints, which I really like. I'm not seeing any of them on this figure in particular, but it's just nice when you can see something that's actually like tangibly made by monster clay or putty or whatever is used to sculpt this thing. It just has a completely different feel and very much an old school feel. I personally don't collect too many new toys. I'm very much vintage, but when it comes to Sofubi and some of this more like vinyl Japanese art stuff, they really do have an old school feel, and I feel like you can get this figure and you can put it on your shelf next to some old Sofubi Bullmark figure, some old Godzilla or something like that, and they just stand next to each other perfectly. So let's see how we fit these arms on. So this is his, let me make sure I get the right arm. Okay, so this is his right arm, and they're made out of this slush molded vinyl. It's all made in a factory in Japan. We talked all about how they create these in the Toy Talk episode that I did with Tokyo Toy Bastard, because he's well up on all how they make these toys. He's well up on all how they make them. But they're almost made like a kid's baby doll toy would be made. So that's stuck in there nice and easy. So that's his left arm, and then we've got this big mad right arm. And like I said, in those movies, people get infected with this like weird mechanical machine virus shit that makes all pipes and stuff go out of their bodies, and all like weird melted tinfoil metal and shit like that, and wires and pipes and all this weird shit that you can see that Takeshi Yoda sculpted on this figure. So he's got like a short arm and then a much longer one with all these weird pipe fingers. So then the last bit that I need to fit on it is this. So this is his penis. It's his dick. And there's something weird about Sofubi that they like to incorporate penises into the figures. A lot of them have got big dicks and stuff like that, and I'm not a big fan of it when it's just a dick for the sake of a dick. It feels like they just put it on just to be, what's the word? Just to be like edgy, like edgelord shit, which I hate, and I feel like some people do it just to be offensive and stuff like that. But with this figure in particular, I don't hate it, and the reason is because in that movie, one of the most famous scenes is the salaryman, the dude that gets the mechanical virus, has a giant drill dick in the movie. So the fact that they've incorporated it into the figure is actually, it actually needed it. If it didn't have it, you would be like, oh, it would be funny if they did a version with the drill dick, because he has it in the movie. So when I saw this displayed at ToyCon, they didn't have it displayed on the figure, and maybe it's because there were kids walking around and stuff like that and they wanted to be respectful. I've seen some pictures on the website where they have him holding it in the hand like that as like a weapon, but it's cool that you can actually fit it there in his actual scrotum, in his crotch, in his groin, whatever you want to call it, and him actually have the big hard dick there actually pointing out of his legs, the big hard drill dick, ready to do some damage, no doubt. So check that. Probably the only time that you'll ever see me review a toy on here that has a giant fucking penis sticking out of the front. We'll definitely have to put that this is an adult video. This video isn't for kids, this one. And nor is this toy, obviously. But like I said, the film is very like metal fetishism and shit like that. It's very like sadomasochistic and shit, and it's very much a film that isn't for kids. And if you have a look, this actual toy is 15 plus, so you have to be 15 plus to even buy this toy. Like I said, it's rare that I cover a toy on here that's not for kids, but this is definitely one that isn't. So that's him there looking fucking awesome. I'm going to get some nice individual shots of him and stuff like that I always do, and take some photos for my Instagram. But it's a figure that has a little bit of articulation, just the right amount for Sofubi. When it comes to Sofubi, you don't want it to have too much articulation because you very much want it to have that old bullmark feel. At least I do anyway. And this is a figure that I think is going to look fucking awesome on the shelf next to my Godzillas and stuff like that. And just the fact that this figure got made and by Takeshi Oda, a dude that worked on one of the original Tetsuo movies, and they had to get the license of the face of the person who played the salaryman in the original Tetsuo movie. Like I said, this is a figure of the guy from the original Tetsuo movie, that it kind of has elements that are an amalgamation of all the Tetsuo movies, but it's cool that it's actually got the likeness of the dude from the original movie and sculpted by a dude who worked on the second Tetsuo movie, and also officially licensed by Shinya Sakamoto for Unboxed Industries. And I really love the colour that they've used as well. It's kind of like a metallic metal colour, but it almost looks like some kind of melted metal like it is in the movie, like a mad magma slag colour. And even though this is a film that's shot in black and white, this is still a figure that I feel like they've captured that black and white essence but still added a little bit of colour to it as well. So again, it's a mix of styles, this figure, but I feel like they've combined all those different individual styles into one figure that represents all of them. Now, if you want one of these figures yourself, you can head over to Unbox Industries. This is not a sponsored video or anything like that. I did buy this figure from them, and I know that when I bought it, they had a couple left after ToyCon, which I presume they haven't got left in England anymore. But if you order one off the website, you'll be able to get one from their Hong Kong office, because I think that's where they keep most of their stock, so it might take a little longer to come than mine did. But if you did want one of these, then I would definitely recommend getting one, because it was a nice price and it's a fucking awesome figure. And I feel that when they make a toy of something like that, of something so obscure like Tetsuo, it's down to people like us that enjoy this stuff to support that, and it's down to us to put that in our collection, because like I said, if we don't buy that, who the fuck else is? So if you enjoyed this video today, don't forget to give it a like. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. This is Slimehouse TV. I'm Theo Kane, and we do a Toy Talk episode every Tuesday. A lot of the time we talk about the theory of toy collecting, different issues that get brought up within the toy collecting community and stuff like that. But then every now and again, I just like to show off something cool that I've picked up. So today was a great excuse to do that. So today we talked about the Unboxed Industries Tetsuo figure by Takeshi Oda. So like I said, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like, and let me know down below anything that you'd like to see me discuss in a future episode of Toy Talk Tuesday. I'm also on Instagram, so if you want to hit me up on Instagram, tag me in your latest haul, send me a message about a video you'd like to see me talk about in the future, then you can head over to @Theo_Kane_Slimehouse. And also, if you want to support Slimehouse and help us make this channel bigger and better than ever, you can head over to patreon.com/Slimehouse TV, and for as little as $1 a month or more, you can become a slime renegade, and that helps this channel. But if you want to help out even more, for as little as a $5 a month or more, you can become a member of the Slime Alliance. And when you're a member of the Slime Alliance, you get access to videos like this 2 weeks early. And I'm also trying something new on there. When I get to 30 members, we're going to start dropping exclusive episodes just for the Slime Alliance members as well. So at the minute, you get access to the Toy Talk Tuesdays 2 weeks in advance, and another few other little bits that I'm dropping on there. But when we get to 30 members, I'm going to be dropping an exclusive episode every single month just for the Slime Alliance. So with all that said and done, if this is your first time at Slimehouse TV, don't forget to go back and binge the back catalogue, because there's a ton of content on here, lots of videos, documentaries, channel chats, all that cool stuff. And if you love anything artistic, retro and edgy and cool, then this is the place for you to check out awesome shit like that. So in the meantime, I'm Theo Kane, this is Slimehouse TV. I will catch you next week for Toy Talk Tuesday, or for a Friday drop, or for a little midweek exclusive. Until then, I'm gone. Pow!